I didn't think about it much. Side note, welcome back, podcast. Here we go. It's me, Abe, Jordan. Don't know what Austin's doing. Miss you, buddy.
Well, I mean, it is with a heavy heart we report that Austin is no longer with us. He has passed away.
I don't know where he is, but I miss him.
We've got a bolo out. We got a bolo out for.
Is it like a
Boner Brown?
A turquoise bolo?
A turquoise
like
bolo.
The kind I
wore.
No, the one I wore at my wedding was like black. It wasn't real stone, but anyways, welcome back to Stonewater Creek. Here we are. We're just going straight into it. Obviously, Jordan recently got a new toy, and it's the same toy I have, and we're talking about modifications. He's already done a few things to his toy, and I have a few things in line to get done. And we talked about it not long ago. When we went to Hogorama, we had some steel targets, and we decided to start running drills. Mostly with carbine, and then I threw in, I was like, hey, let's do some shit with some transition to pistol or from pistol, and we all had a blast. I think it kicked.
I mean, it has fired up an addiction in me, like I'm.
I think all of us, that's why. I mean, obviously, I've talked about it on previous podcasts recently. We're saving for a house, so budget's real tight, but. I talked to my wife and to Steph, and we figured it out, and I was like, hey, let's just budget for this. I have some things I want to buy, and so I don't know. It was after that I really started watching, and obviously Austin sent us some stuff, and Austin just before his disappearance just sent us a bunch of shooting videos, and him with his time with AccuFire had gotten him really into long distance shooting and just, shooting competitions in general, which obviously bled over into our friend group. So, I don't know. It's 100%. It's not that I didn't know enough about my guns or, how to disassemble or do things with them and how to operate them, but this is maybe want to dive deeper into, the mechanics, science, and potential modifications on them to understand a little bit better so I can, maybe have a little more fun with them.
I mean, I think like most people who have guns that are not like doing the competition thing, they're probably not shooting their gun very often. They're maybe shooting their gun a couple times a year. They go to the lease, they sling some lead a little bit. So, I think their desire to want to like replace a trigger or to put a new mag release in or things like that are a little bit, kind of like, oh, well, I'm not. They're like, oh, cool, that'd be neat, but I'm not doing it. Like they're gonna. But once you start running those drills and you just kind of like, once you shoot nice guns, it's kind of one of those things that's like, oh shit. It's like most things, like first class on an airplane. You fly first class and then you have to go sit and coach and you're like, ugh, these pores. I hate this.
Always my best example is on things like that. If you've fished and like a Zepco reel will get everything done, everything's like perfect with Zepco. There's nothing wrong with Zepco. More fish has probably been caught on a Zepco than anything else, right? And it's 202, fine,
right?
But you go cast with like a nice expensive bait caster and a nice rod, and the casting's easier, it's smoother, it just feels better, and then you catch a fish, you have more control on it, you have more sensitivity at filling the bottom, all that stuff. It's just that much better. Do you have to have it? No. But like, once you fish with one, are you like, man, I get it? The same thing with guns. Like, it's nice. Any gun will, deer hunting, we talk about all the time. In Texas, cheaper rifle of most calibers with a 3x9 scope of whatever you want will kill most any white-tailed deer in Texas.
Red dot.
But, yeah, I mean, like, you're going to shoot like maybe 100 yards at most places in Texas. I mean, there's some places obviously you're going to reach out, but like,
sure,
most shots in Texas are 100 yards, maybe a little bit, maybe 200 at the most. You'll be fine. But like once you start like actually shooting nice glass and using nice binoculars, you're like, oh, I get this.
I ain't going back.
And and then you get a second mortgage out on your house, and
Yeah, debt. It's cool.
yeah, you know, start living life on credit cards, you know, because
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, we're all going to die soon anyways, so I mean, I actually hear too, if you've bad credit, you're going to get a better rate on your mortgage.
that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
That is what I have heard.
So, tank it, boys. Let's go.
Gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? All day.
So you guys are
Well, it
both
definitely doesn't-
rocking the same. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, we're both rocking the same pistol.
You were going to have a funny anecdote that I interrupted, and I apologize.
Yeah.
Pulages. So you're rocking that Gen 3 Glock 17.
Yeah, and the way I wound up with the Glock 17 was I used to not really be a Glock fan. Like I there's nothing wrong with them, but I was just like, you know, everyone's got them, like they're fine, but they just didn't appeal to me. But I seem to somehow every like gun I get or car, you know, cars I'm infamous for. It's motorcycles, all that stuff. I always find like the niche where like finding parts is kind of hard. Like it might be a popular brand, like my Evinrude boat. Like I have like a weird little like, you know, like the 30 horsepower, you can't find much for it, but like a 25 horse or a 40 horse, you can find every part you need all the time, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the guns I pick. Like, you know, the pistol I normally shoot is a Grand Power, and it's kind of a newer gun. It's not really a very popular gun, and you know, finding a holster for it was near impossible, and you know, finding, you know, just spare parts for it and upgrades and stuff like that, like I couldn't really find them very easy. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to get the most common gun I possibly can that like everybody makes something for it, like the Chevy 350 of guns. Like you can go down to 7-Eleven and get mags for this thing. You know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with
just like
it.
a Chevy 3.
There's nothing wrong with this guy.
Yeah, and no, and it shoots great and all that stuff. So I got it, and the like we were talking earlier is the whole point of getting it too was I was like, I want a gun that I'm just gonna like modify and do cool stuff with, and figure out what I like and what I don't like, and you can find, you know, inexpensive, really nice parts for it. Like I said, basically anywhere. So that's how I wound up with this thing so far.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, I've
So are you guys going
Go ahead, Abe.
mill yours to be able to put an optic on it at all, or just running iron sights?
I had lunch with Austin the other day. That was the last time I saw him. I haven't seen him since. Really heard much from him since. So still no idea where he is. And I was talking.
Be on the lookout.
Yeah, Bolo. And I've got it here. And I was looking online at other slides that have already been machined. But I was like, man, I don't know. I've shot his gun, like with his guns with red dot.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think I prefer my iron sights. Like, I mean,
are you going to at least upgrade those iron sights? Like get you some Ameriglows or
like something fiber optic or something maybe. I don't know, man. I've had this Glock for quite a while, and I feel like I'm used to it. Like I got to kind of shake the cobwebs off. You know, like as we saw when we were out at the lease. You know, some of those shots I was just, you know, it's like, oh shit. But then there was a couple times I was shooting all the way back and like got some distant shots with it and like hitting steel. Some of the other times I've been out there with Austin, and like I said, I feel like I'm pretty dialed in on it. I just, again, more conversations. More conversations with Austin is just I need to shoot this thing a lot more. And you know, part of the other mods I'm looking at
that's
is
the answer
like
to everything.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at a threaded barrel and a compensator to put on this thing, which I think will help me, you know, maybe a little bit more.
It looks so tough with the compensator on there.
I showed you that other one, and I
Get
was
that
telling you
Radian,
about
dude.
it. So the Radian is sold out. Radian's completely sold out, and I signed up for email
Makes
alerts.
sense.
You know, if it does show up. Now on Brownells, I was looking and let me pull it up real quick. The other comp that I looked up that was notable as far as like, hey, this thing works really well, people have reported really good things on it, is the 417 comp. It's Agency Arms. And I've watched some YouTube videos, and dudes love the shit out of this thing. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'll do this one, I was like, okay, well, I need to get a threaded barrel, and started doing some research on that. And I found a few, and, anybody feel free to shoot. It's JARED at stormwatercreek.com. Any of our few listeners, shoot me an email, and I'd love to get your opinion. I talked to Austin about this, and I'm mentioning it now, but I found a threaded barrel for my Glock 17, and it's Faxon Firearms is the barrel. And all the reviews I've read are really good. I'm vaguely familiar with the brand, and I've done some research on it and heard and read good things. And so I think I'm going to go with that, because that with the Agency Arms comp is about $240.
It's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
And then I have that 3.5 pound trigger that I found on there. Same website. And then, extended mag release. I was doing, I was obviously making sure I was empty, but I was doing some kind of just dry fire drill, then change mag. And the factory mag release on this thing is just, it's not where it's at. I also,
Mushy.
the way my hand sticks around, the way my thumb hits it, it's just right where my thumb is, right? So if it was sticking out just a little bit further, extended release, I think it'd be a little bit easier to do a quick mag change on this.
Are you guys gonna run any kind of flared mag wells on the bottom of it?
I looked at some. The decent ones are all around $100, and I didn't feel like $100 was needed. I think again with more practice, and the same thing with this thing. If you get it in kind of cattywampus, it's a pistol. So even if you kind of get it at an angle, the magazine's not super long, so I still feel like you can kind of correct real quick and get it in there.
Yeah.
Until we get those extendos. Bro, I'm super excited about
rounds?
those. Well, I feel like Austin said 30.
Oh.
It's a 34.
It's 34.
Oh,
I went
34
to
rounds.
I went to Bass Pro, and
Lion
I
eyes,
got
man.
another PMag today because I really enjoy. Magpul makes good magazines, so I got another PMag for mine because it was like $14. And that's another thing.
Yeah.
Jordan, I know you already got some mags, but PMags are awesome and inexpensive for this thing. But yeah, they had some.
I got a couple of these, the Men 2s.
Yeah, you were telling me about those.
Men 2 brand, and so far so good. I haven't run much through them, but doing some mag exchange with them and stuff. They're pretty nice, dude.
I just like it noted that on my view of the screen, which the listener can't see, it appears as if we're interviewing somebody on Vice, like a drug dealer for Vice.
Jordan's face is covered in shit.
You're just this is Yemeni's little skip.
My name is Yemen, Ukraine.
Yemen, Ukraine.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't really see my face, but all the glare is coming off this chrome dome of mine.
I see it. It's distracting from your face. So, yeah, man, the guns are ridiculous. I'm super excited about TLM weekend. I have gone down. I'm fully invested in the carbine side of things at this point. I've got the new 18-inch freaking Aero Precision upper up here. I've done I did a drop-in trigger on my lower 3 pounds. Got an Ambi safety selector on there now, and I got the Raptor Radian charging handle, just tight. So my AR is rocked and ready to go. Got a new buffer tube. We're gonna go full rifle. It's gonna be tight. So I can't wait. TLM weekend, and then we've got a big shoot going on in October. So if you're listening to this and going, man, I would love to take part in a little bit of a rifle comp. I like, what's this competition stuff? And you would love to be able to kind of check it out or come shoot it with people who are going to be super cool. If you're listening to us, you're probably friends with us. So, hit us up on Instagram. reach out to AccuFire, and we've got a big competition going on in October that'll be real cool. So, but I would like to tell you that I have also bought a new pistol.
I was wondering. I was going to ask you about how the looking was going, but the looking's over, right?
The looking's over.
Did you go with what you wanted?
I bought an X5 Legion, bro.
Nice.
Yeah. So
when's it coming?
Next week. It'll be here next week. So yeah. So I'm just jumping into it. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna shoot the shit out of that thing, and then there's about a once a month pistol competition down here at the Galveston gun range, and so I'm gonna go start shooting that sucker once a month.
Do you know what kind of competition it is?
USA, like whatever the USAPC area is, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not into it like that yet, but
right. No, you're close enough.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking into shooting. That's your question earlier about you're asking if I'm going to do a magwell and all that stuff. The answer is no, because a lot of times with the rules on that, it puts you up into the category where you're shooting against like the open class, and you're shooting against guys that have like basically your guns like what you just
Hit
bought,
Viper. Yeah.
and like freaking every bell and whistle they can possibly get, and much better shooters. So
yeah, I was talking about that a little bit, and it was one of those things. It was like, but I feel like if I could just you get into that and you just start shooting the shit out. You shooting with people who are just like freaking leaps and bounds above you. You like either you're gonna just I'm like just gonna be like fuck, this is dumb, or I'm gonna be like I'll just start to be able to hang with them and shoot. So I think it's just time. I'm a pretty good shot if I put time and effort into something. So
that's exactly how those guys got better, is just by going to the range and practicing. So,
I think, that's it. That was kind of the whole point. That was kind of the whole point of me getting into this and wanting to shoot competitions, is going to force me to, like, I've always been like average. What do you want to call it? Like, not very good at shooting pistols. Rifles, I'm pretty good, but pistols themselves, I've always been, like I can hit some targets and stuff, but like, I wasn't like fantastic. And I was like, man, I want to get better at shooting pistols. So this is kind of one of those things that's going to force me to do that, and it's going to be fun. I've always wanted to. I went to when I worked at my last job. I worked with a bunch of guys that were into pistol competitions, and talking to them, I was like, man, I really want to do this, and I just never did it. Like I wanted to, never did it, and now I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So
you can
at least
do
once.
That's I have a solidly brand new addiction, which is just ammo seek. Like just waiting for.
That's where I'm at. It really is just. I told Austin, I was like, we burned through a good bit of my 9mm at Hagarama, so I need to replenish.
Well, now that we're all running 9mm. I think we looked at it the other day, and I found some ammo. I found some ammo for it was like 3,000 rounds, and it was like $200 a person for us to get it all. But the problem with that is Austin brought up, God rest his soul. You get 3,000 rounds of shit, fucking gross ammo that you're just stuck with.
True.
So it's one of those things where it's like I wish I could get like a smaller quantity of that and be like, okay, yeah, this is good ammo, then step up to the 3,000 count, so we know it's like, okay, all of our guns shoot this, like we can all just split this up and, get it, everybody can kind of pitch in for it. So, but we'll see. It's, ammo seek. I'm like, I want 15 cents a round. I don't think I'm going to get it. But
do you remember those days?
Yeah. Fucking corn at Buc-ee's was $12.50 a bag. $12.50.
I feel like the last time we were there, or I passed through, it was like $15 maybe.
Oh my God. That must have been
Yeah,
down deer
that's
season.
ridiculous. We were getting it for like what, $7?
Yeah. And I felt violated then, you know?
Yeah.
Now I just feel like I'm downright being abused by the corn industry.
Yeah,
So
but you
I was,
kind of like it.
I told
Sort of.
I told old Boner Brown, you know, it was just like there was that one summer that we all threw in money to like get corn for the feeders for the whole season. And it was like, oh man, we're spending a lot of money. And now it's like, that thought has not crossed my mind. We haven't been to the farm in a while. I said, okay, I'm okay with taking a bag of corn out there.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Throwing it around. And you may be able to get a little
Probably.
cheaper at a feed store. I don't know.
Maybe.
Buc-ee's is pretty good typically.
It used
But
to
I mean,
be
it's
at
not like
least.
you're going to get it for $9 a bag. Yeah. So, yeah, guns are tight, dude. Guns are real tight. I mean, this weekend, or last weekend, whatever it was, at that turkey camp, I set up that little, I bought one of those little spinning steel targets that you can hit, you know, it's got a big one, a little one. I put that at 300 yards, and I rang steel on my first shot. I was a little high on the second one, but we were having kids meltdown. It was hot, and they were like, you know, take a couple shots and we got to go. So I was like, damn it. So I took 3 shots at 300 yards and just, you know, hit steel the first one, which I was excited about. And then I missed high the next 2. I was high, so I didn't really get a chance to like dial my dope in and all that. So I'm looking forward to next weekend. I'm headed out to the ranch and I'm going to do some shooting for sure, where I've got some time to take my time and do it. So.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm just doing the quick search, and it's like about 28 cents a round.
Yeah.
That sounds about right now.
Which is crazy. And
I found
What?
some for
It's
like 18
mind-boggling.
cents.
Hey, what?
ooh,
What is
For
it?
like
15 cents a round.
115 grain.
Let's see on AmmoSeek what we're getting right here. Of course, it's being ridiculously.
Are you just
slow.
looking for like whatever 9mm, or do you like focus in on like a certain grain or anything there, Ibrahim?
No. I mean,
I would
I'm just
say
looking at
115 is what I'm looking for.
yeah. So here's like here's 1,000 rounds. Oh, this is remanufactured. Here's 1,000 rounds, brand new brass, 124 grain for 18 cents a round. Not bad.
Ooh.
So, you know, but the shipping and handling gets you. That'll be over. There'll be another $100 for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
That's where they get you. That's where they get you on that shit, man.
that's. Act like it's heavy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, man, it's I don't know. I say it's a healthy habit for us to get into. Like, people, all sorts of people have different opinions about what to spend their money on. This is what, you know, we enjoy to do ourselves, and God forbid, you know, shit ever really hits the fan and we're fucking prepared. You know what I'm saying? Or just prepared for anything that really kind of gets tossed our way, you know?
Dude, I mean, for me, it's like the hurricane stuff, you know? You're down here, and that's when, like, because with that mud boat, you know, I'm seriously considering if, like, Port Arthur gets hit, and, you know, they need
We
people
already
to go
know.
over there.
I know where you're headed right now, and this was a conversation had with Austin whenever he got his, and we said, you know, inevitable. It's going to happen. It's coastal.
Yeah.
It's coastal, you know, shoreline. Any town that's on, you know, the coast down there that maybe gets hit pretty hard and it's kind of fucked up. I said, absolutely, let me know. I was like, I'll make it happen. And he's like, yeah, we'll be down there in a heartbeat. Like, definitely want to go down there and just But I remember my brother went for Harvey, and he said he saw a lot of fucked up shit that kind of messed with him. But he said he's glad he went,
Yeah.
And I said, absolutely. Like, I get it,
Save some people, save some dogs, save some stuff, help some people out. And,
absolutely.
It's nice to be able to, have that old fuck around and find out on you too,
What are you talking about? Hitting some gun stores? What's going on right now? What are you talking about?
No, hidden gun stores. I'm not talking about robbing anybody. I'm talking about
I know
defending
a dude
yourself if you are robbed.
Who robbed a guy?
Who robbed a guy?
Like your favorite band sings Sublime. What is it? April 26th.
Well, thank you guys for joining us on today's podcast. This is why Austin has disappeared.
What, you mad because I told people your secret?
Oh, I fucking hate
Jared.
So disgusting.
Jared is the one that is absolutely.
Jared loves Sublime.
I am
dude.
the one who is that.
You are the one who is that. Fucking Velvet Bradley Knoll picture in your office.
I don't even understand.
You got like some Bradley memorabilia.
Who's Bradley?
Isn't Bradley the lead singer? Bradley Knoll?
I don't fucking know.
You got it.
Yes, you
He
do.
does.
You
He
silly
does.
queer.
You silly
fucking
queer.
know.
Yeah, you do, you little homo.
You do too. Just rocking it.
Rocking it, yeah.
Rocking it into the new world. Well, I'll tell you, I had last weekend was a kid weekend for me, which is just out of,
Yeah, go into
difficult.
that. I want to hear about that.
So my brother is clearly addicted to turkeys, which is just, I don't know. I mean, I get it, but I don't, So he's like, every year he's putting this turkey camp on, and he's inviting people, and sometimes people come, and sometimes people don't, and it's he likes to get out and do it. So I'm like, all right, cool, man. I'll play along and come out in the woods and be there with you and have a good time. And it's good camping weather because it's not hot, really. It's not cold, so it's kind of a good balance. So it's always pretty nice. Weather last weekend was great. But we get out there and there's, I think, 11 people total, 5 kids and 6 adults. And, man, 7 to 4 years old. And it was, kids, man, they're different. Like this is the most amount of time I've spent around little kids in a long time. And, I had to go into town on Saturday. I was like, we're out of beer. I'm going to go get beer. Y'all hang out here. And I just got in the car, listened to the radio a little bit, and just was quiet. It was great. Took a poop at a bathroom, and took my time getting back. But
Took my time.
we had a good time. Oh, yeah, take my time. But we got, it was funny because we went out Friday night, Friday afternoon and kind of scouted and found ourselves a little spot. And I brought a pop-up blind because I figured it'd be easier to put a kid into a pop-up blind than it would be to like post up on a tree, and expect them to sit still on the ground. So we got out there. First of all, Glenn's kid was not having it. He was like, no. He was like, I don't want to be here. I want to go back to bed. Like, this is stupid. And Glenn was like, all right, let's go. He was like, okay, we'll go. And he's like, but I want you to carry me. So Glenn carried his kid 700 yards into the and so he carries him in there. We get into the blind, and I mean, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes goes by, and he starts kind of like, Glenn's like, why don't you lay down in the chair, like curl up and lay down in the chair? Or I was like, hey, just like, we had like the blind bags and chair bags and everything. I was like, hey, just like make a little pallet right here. He had a little cushion. He could make up a little bed and lay down. And he was like, yeah. He's like, no. Kid was like, no. I want to go back to camp. And he starts off quiet. Another 10 minutes goes by, and he's getting a little louder. And he's just like, I want to go back to camp. Finally, like 45 minutes after we got in the blind, he's like, let's go back to camp. Like, let's go. Like, I know how to get us done here. We're like, y'all happy now? There's no turkeys around because I'm being loud. So we're like, all right, well, let's go. He was like, all right, if you're going back, you're walking back, which I appreciated from Glenn. So we, walked back up there, got the truck, brought it down, cleaned up everything, and we're running roads. Like we pulled out of where we were at, came around the corner, and one of the other dads and his son was already in the truck coming back the other way, and he was just like, "Yeah, we didn't last long either." And all of the dads are already back in their trucks. So you guys were kind of the last ones to make it before kids gave up. So we're like, let's go run around, and James is coming. We'll meet all up right here, and we'll kind of start the day. Because it was 9 o'clock in the morning at that point, So there's an abandoned RV out there, like a little, fifth wheel. And I'll tell you what, those kids had so much fun throwing rocks through the windows, just destroying that thing. They're like, all right, here's the deal, guys. This place is the only place you can throw rocks through windows. You can just see all the dads just going.
That's not true.
Not at my house,
fucking
boy.
throw rocks through the window at the house. So of course, Glenn, we go like, let's go look inside the RV, guys. So we go look inside the RV, and we walk in. Glenn's leading the charge, and he opens kind of the bedroom door. He's like, "Oh my God, there's a dead body in here." And all the boys are like, "Oh my God, where?" And like, "There's not a dead body. Calm down, you little freaks." So we did that, and then we went and shot some guns. They shot 22s. They had a blast doing that. My brother let his kid shoot my AR, and he was freaked out by that after he shot it. He was like, "Nope." He was like, "Nope, not dealing with that." And then we went back, had lunch. It was hot. It started to get hot by that point. And Glenn was like, "Let's go find a creek. Let's go get in a creek." That's when I went to the bathroom into town to get beer. I was on the way back. They texted me like their pin where they were at. It was right off the road. And I come up, and there are 5 dads sitting in camp chairs on the side of the road. And in the woods, in the creek, these boys are just playing in this. They're all shirtless, with boots on, and Noah, my nephew's got sandals on, and they're just playing, throwing rocks around in the creek, just having a good old time. And I guess one of the dads was like, "Hey, you guys should dam up the creek, build a little dam between that tree, with rocks." And they were like, "Oh my God, okay, yeah, let's do that." So they started doing it. They built one. They got it across the one little side, and we're like, "Oh, cool! Look at that! It's kind of, you can tell it's flowing a little harder on the other side." And we're like, "I should build one across the other side now." And they were like, "Done." And so they started to build it, and they built it, and we were like, they got it all the way across, but it was deep enough that they needed more layers, and so they were building up. And we're like, "All right, let's just." All these dads are just bringing rocks over these kids. We dammed that creek up and backed it up, it rose the creek about a foot, and it was great. It was cool. It was great because they were in the water wearing themselves out. We were in the shade drinking beer, having a good time, watching them build this thing, and it was pretty impressive to see. I've got some pictures of it we'll share, but they were proud of their dam. But I'll tell you what, by that point of the day, we went back, we had dinner. And we were like, let's go watch the stars tonight because it was Bluebird Day. And, of course, as the sun starts to go down, clouds start to roll in. So we didn't get a chance to see any stars. But, they were in bed, passed out by 7. The night before, they had s'mores. And this is the closest thing I've ever seen to, like, meth heads, crack heads. They were running around. They had gone to bed, tried to go to bed at like 10 o'clock. And then finally they get out of bed, and they're like, they're just bouncing off the walls. And we're like, "I'll do some burpees." And so these kids, all 5 of these kids just start doing burpees around the fire. And we're just sitting there like, Jesus, that wore them out. That got them down on Friday. Saturday had no problem getting everybody down. It was a fun time. It was good experience for those boys. I was just super proud to watch kids that are typically glued to a screen that didn't pick up a phone, didn't pick up an iPad, didn't want an iPad. They threw rocks and sticks at each other and played war. They were just little hoodlums.
The way you
great.
just said
it was
hoodlums
really
sounded
cool
like
to see.
Theo Vaughn saying hoodlums.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it sounded like all was right in the world. You got kids doing kid shit. Did you... now You did leave
I was a
out
proud uncle.
the
We saw
initial
0
meetup
turkeys.
because you said you rode out there with Glinjamin and his boy. You told me the story the other day, and so I want you to remember and iterate the introduction of these young children meeting each other for the first time.
Oh, like, so all of these boys know each other from basketball, from school. They're all friends outside of Glenn's kid. And we got there first, so we're setting stuff up. And then my brother rolls up. And he's got his kid and his friend's kid with him. And they jump out of the truck, and, you know, they kind of look at each other. And Hudson, Glenn's kid, looks at him like, what's up? You know, like, I'm Noah. He's like, I'm Hudson. He's like, I'm Nathan. All right, cool. Like, let's go throw shit around each other. I mean, they just, like, picked up like they were 30-year-old best friends that had just seen each other for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, I'm just envisioning like the Step Brothers.
You gotta call me Nighthawk.
Like that.
You have to call me Dragon.
Oh, it was 100% like that.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah,
it was.
as you said that, that's all I saw. Like, what's up?
Oh.
What's up?
Like, just their body language at first when they kind of, like, stepped to each other, they were just kind of like, what's your deal, bro? Like, are you going to be cool? You know, and then they all just were friends. And we got all the way until Sunday about, I don't know, 20 minutes before we left, before a kid just had a meltdown.
Oh.
Total meltdown. Kid got hit in the head with a pine cone.
That's all you need to say.
They were just chunking. Like, by camp, they were just, like, I was clearly the most nervous. I was the most nervous out of all the guys there. Because I see them, like, chunking sticks at each other. They're fucking throwing pine cones at each other. Thankfully, there's not really any rocks around throwing at each other, because, like, God knows they would have been doing that. They're just running around, playing war. It was cool to see, but I was also like, one of these fucking kids is going to get hurt, and I can't deal with that. Like, I'm out. You know, you drop me off at the Chili's, y'all go to the urgent care, pick me up on the way back. I'll fucking get some LITs and fucking Southwest egg rolls. Y'all take care of the stitches.
I'm talking about my
y'all pick me up on the way back.
That's the best part about being like an uncle and not having the kids yourself. Like, you get to like just be like, all right, I'm peacing out on that part.
Bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
But B. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. We set the wall tent up for the boys. 2 of them slept in there. But I'll tell you what, you want to talk about, like, I have like this little backpacking kind of like trekking pole tent, right? It's uses a single trekking pole. It's 1-person tent. It's small, right? It's designed to be small. I'm setting that thing up, and these boys are staring at it like, why do you have a half tent?
It's not a tumor.
It's not a half tent. It's just a single person tent. Well, your tent's like half the size of ours. Yeah, I'm like, it's not. It's supposed to be small. It's for backpacking. Well, look at our tent. It's big. Why do you have such a small tent?
I'm showing this to Jordan just real quick.
It's like, shut up,
Is that how
kid.
yours is? Like, is it textured
What's wrong
like
with
mine
this
is?
guy?
I mean, he said he's got the same exact gun.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, but that texture.
Yeah, he's got those talons. But I'm talking about the factory.
Yeah, but he put new
like
grips on his,
the stock stippling and you know, grip and kind of gradient that's on there. Like, I don't mind it at all. I feel like it's fine. But I'll feel yours and see what I think. You see what I did there? I got all sexy.
Hell yes.
Yeah, it almost.
Yeah.
The
other last thing about these kids was the fact that the amount of fucking sugar consumed was astonishing. And the fight at the end of on Sunday for who's fucking taking it home. They were like, y'all take it home. No. And like, just people would like stash candy in other people's bags, like other dads' bags. And they'd be like, one dad would be like, what the fuck? Get this shit. No. Take those fucking gummy worms and get the fuck out of here. I'm not dealing with that. You know, so it was kind of cool to see that.
Thankfully, I'm in my 30s and can do whatever I want to do, is what you mean?
Because the last thing I need at this house right now is fucking candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll spoil my dinner if I want.
Hell yeah. I don't doubt it, man.
We did eat good boudin. Boudin and fried fish. Yeah. I think Glenn has a problem with food, though, because, like, James is cooking, like, 5 pounds of catfish, 2 pounds of shrimp, and Glenn's like, we should make some brats and hot dogs just in case we eat all this. I'm like, we're not eating all this. He was like, I'm going to do it just to be safe. we had brats and hot dogs. We had, fried fish, fried shrimp, and we had a tremendous amount left over.
My coworker.
No, really?
Really?
My coworker's on a kayaking trip.
Glenn likes to cook food, man.
Trip with some buddies this week. And we were talking, and he showed me pictures of all the food that everyone brought. And I'm like, here's the deal, bro. It's like, you guys are not going out for a month. Okay, you're going out for 4 days. This is not a month trip. And he's like, no, it's cool, man. I was like, no, I mean, it's cool, but I'm just saying, like, you guys have way too much food.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess better to have too much than not enough.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
absolutely,
it's.
but
I mean, if you're
they
willing
have-
to paddle,
they
if you're
have
willing to
two
paddle it
canoes,
around,
and
why
so
not?
they can kind of pack on
Why
a little
not,
bit more.
right?
And I'm just thinking about like that trip that I went on with Nate and all the dudes down in Austin. Like when we went to the Frio, and 2 of the dudes had canoes, and there's a lot of room in them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of room to throw some shit up in there and store some shit. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
get a big Yeti in there
Steaks.
for like steaks. I'd like to go do a float trip real bad.
You want to do a steak trip?
Stocks.
I mean,
Well,
it's time for that. It's time for a float season.
It is. It's getting warm. The water down here is already like bath water. The water temperature yesterday was 77 degrees. It is hot. I would reach into the live well to pull shrimp out and was just
Was
like,
it-
oh, this
was
is
it just?
this is
Was it
warm
you
water.
and Tracy, or
Cooked.
did BTK go with you?
That shrimp is
Or-
cooked.
Dude, that shrimp's cooked.
Tracy doesn't go with you anymore.
I went with BTK. He's got that Pathfinder. I mean, she was doing something. And we were going out to catch fish, so we found a pretty badass, he knew that spot, but we went up further than he'd ever been before, too, and we found a pretty badass duck spot. There were mallards and teal stacked in there. So we got a pretty
That's fun.
solid potential duck
Yeah.
spot. Yeah. Which I'm pumped about. Yeah. There's still a bunch of birds down here. It's crazy. We've gone out a couple times now in the last couple weeks and just like big groups of blue-winged teal. And there's always resident mallards down by the Bayou Vista, but we've seen some mallards now, and
That's
we'll
what's
see.
tight, bro.
We shall see.
I bet those birds look pretty as hell.
Oh my god, dude! We saw those blue-winged teal up real close, and they're just incredible looking. Mallards look good, but those blue-winged teal, that moon patch on their face, dope.
They're dope.
Dope.
It was dope. Yep. We've dope AF, bro.
No, you did not.
I told you I got an update on my boat. The
Like
head is
another
at
update.
the rotor. Well, the head is at the shop now, officially getting
Oh, nice.
fixed. So we should be getting close. So I'm thinking by the time I'm back from, he'll probably call me while I'm in Idaho and be like, "Hey, come get your boat," and I won't get it for a week.
That is
So
fun. That is very
That'll be
fun.
neat.
Just tell your
But,
son to go
tell
pick
your
it up
son.
for you.
Does he still? He just still didn't get a new truck.
Yeah, he doesn't have a truck. No, still no truck. He's running around with the mom's BMW. He had some.
Oh, that
leaves in
sucks.
the other day, last weekend. Yeah. Oh, I know. He's really slumming it with his BMW. But he was showing me some pictures of these. He was like, "Oh yeah, we were in Chocolate and found a bunch of ducks." And he was showing me like, the video of all the ducks popping up, and I was like, "Oh, bro, you got some girls in this boat, don't you?" He was like, "Oh yeah, it's certain friends of mine." I was like, "Good for you, man."
Some
He's
friends
like,
of mine.
Beanbag chairs work really well. Yeah, I was like, "Friends, cool."
Stay here. Stay as long as you can.
Don't ever grow up. Stay here forever.
Did he have him in his mud boat?
What a dude,
Oh yeah,
man.
they were just sitting in the front.
Oh
like,
man,
that's a dude.
What a good kid.
dude,
That kid's living life to the fullest.
living it.
That kid's living life to the fullest, dude.
Just running around
Yeah, that's
mud boating with
that's
his
a
buddies,
dude.
a couple girls in the front of his boat. I'm like, fuck, I did teenage years wrong, dude. Yeah. So, yeah, it was fun. We caught that big black drum on a light, kind of that medium rod that I have, which is kind of like, it whacked it, and it was like, oh, yep, that's a redfish. And then
Black
we got it
drum.
up, and we're like, oh, that's a black drum. So we got some black drum for the 4th of July, 14th, for the girls' party. So we're doing fried fish that night, I think. So I'm on a mission to stash a bunch of fish. Speaking of which, not that you'll ever see him again because he
No.
died, but did Boner Brown share any fish with you?
Like either one of us, because I got nothing.
I bet you what it is he's probably expecting us to come over and
I emptied out a bunch of
pick
fish and
up
gave it
from
to him. And, it was like share this amongst the group. Yeah. So there is some there for you if he ever returns from his,
Death.
death.
Yeah.
He's like Jesus.
Yeah. So yeah, we're getting. I mean,
So y'all do
What
any
else you
fishing?
got, Abe?
good. Go
I
ahead.
was asking if y'all done any fishing.
No, I have not. No fishing yet.
Why don't you need to get up in that creek? If I can go wade fish for bluegills with that fly rod, dog.
Yeah, but every one of my weekends so far has been covered up, including this next weekend, which I'm going down to Corpus, but I don't get to do anything fun. I'm going down there literally to build a fence for my father-in-law down there. So
Why don't your contribution be go to Home Depot, get 2 day laborers, be like, here, I'm giving you 2 people to replace me, and they will build the fence. I'm headed to the fucking flats. There are redfish
It'd be nice, but
stacked up in the shallows, supposedly.
well,
Up here, at least.
go catch one on your fly rod for me.
I don't have a boat that I can get in there right now. That's
Not
the
with that
problem.
attitude.
Well, I mean, true.
You do it. You'd have a boat. Be like, hey, son, take me up in
Yeah,
these
take me
flats
out.
so I can fly.
Kick those hooers out of here and let me fucking go fly fishing.
Yeah, like, come on now. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Where are you going to go try to rip some lip,
Side note, I just
J-Rod?
want to talk about something that happened to me yesterday. Okay, Jordan, you're going to get a kick out of this. So I decided, normally a full synthetic oil change on my truck is like $120, and I said, fuck that. $40 for 5 quarts and an oil filter, and then an additional quart because mine's takes about 5.4, 5.5. So I was like, I'm doing this shit myself. I hadn't changed oil on a car in a while, but I know what the fuck I'm doing. So get underneath there, and I have a skid plate on my truck. It has a little mini plate to take off so I can get the oil filter down. It's even got this nice little ramp built so that oil will drip into this pan and fall down into your actual, your big oil pan to capture all your used oil. So I do that, walk away for a second, let it drain, go back. It had started to drip down the skid plate, so it got in the driveway. Like, shit. So there's strike one. Go to take off the drain plug on the oil pan on the truck, and didn't pay attention to my other plastic oil pan that I've got to capture all this oil, and I didn't take the plug out of the hole, like where the oil's supposed to drain through. And so I fucking take this plug off, and oil starts coming out. And holy shit, dude. It was like the goddamn BP oil spill in the driveway. It was fucking everywhere, and I was so pissed. I had my goddamn Apple Watch on, and it got oil all over it. And I like freaked out for a second. I'm like, I'm not trying to ruin this shit. And so threw that off real quick, started cleaning it up. So, all right, cool. That's fine. I fucked up. Not a big deal. Oh, yeah, shit ton of paper towels. Well,
Like
now
paper towels?
I'm going to put the drain plug back in. Can't fucking find it. Motherfucker. Well, I took it off and just set it here. Digging around, and then I do this thing, and I feel like a lot of people do this thing where you overreact when you're like, not really in a panic, but when you're fucking things up and it's not going according to plan, especially when I work on a car. So I get this 5-gallon bucket because I 100% think that's it's in
totally
this fucking
normal.
drain pan here. Like, it's in this drain pan. What the fuck? So I get a 5-gallon bucket and dump all of this used oil into this bucket, and stick my fucking hand in and swish it around and shake this drain pan. I'm like, it's not fucking in here. So I just, kind of pretty much, I don't want to say ruin. It's a 5-gallon bucket, whatever. But then I have to pour it back in to this fucking drain pan, spill that shit because it fucking overflows. I'm like, God damn it. So annoyed. And I'm like covered in fucking oil. And I'm over here bragging to Steph. And I'm like, she's like, dinner's going to be ready soon. I was like, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Don't worry. So like fucking 30 minutes later, holy shit.
This
so
won't take long at all.
Oh, she
comes out.
came out once
Jared,
and she's like,
I've cooked
everything
you
going
dinner.
okay?
Get the
You've
fuck
done
back
this
in the
before,
house.
right? I'm like, yes, I have. Leave me alone. Oh God, it was terrible. So I have this.
Do I need to call my dad?
Do you want me to Google it?
I have a mechanic friend. Should I ask him?
Do you want me to call Jordan?
Did you call Jordan yet?
I found the drain
Jordan.
plug. I put it in the plastic bag that I was putting all the dirty oil-soaked paper towels in. I don't know how I got in there, but whatever. Put it on. I mean, I filled the motherfucker. Yeah.
makes
Just I want to
sense.
keep
Good
the oil
job.
on it so it doesn't dry out.
Keeps it fresh.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly, yeah. So you guys
You
get
wanna
it.
dry it
You
out.
guys fucking get
Exactly.
it.
That's how you cross-thread things.
So I finished the job, obviously. And it felt,
Yeah.
even though I fucked up a
I'm a
bunch,
mechanic, dude.
I was
I
just
know.
like, it always feels good to do something on your vehicle. Like the last time I worked on Steph's, on her car, her little SUV, and I changed her front brakes
Yeah.
and rotors. And she's like, all right, this feels good. Like, I did this shit and we saved some fucking money. And so, even though I fucked up, it's like, all right, cool. I know what not to do next time. I learned my lesson. But yeah, I felt like I should share that story.
Yeah.
I felt like, well,
Get it
I'm
back.
going
Do it
to
yourself.
next time. I said, Steph, I'll change your oil next time you need an oil change. And she's like, you sure? But I thought you... Well, so
She's looking at the
I went out there
Spots of
afterwards.
oil everywhere.
I was like, I don't have kitty litter here. I'm not about to drive to the fucking store. So I just got a bunch of Dawn dish soap and just poured it on these stains and scrubbed the shit out of them. And today it doesn't look terrible. You can tell I probably spilled some oil there, but it's not like this big, gigantic, dark oil stain on the driveway. Fucking no.
Exxon Valdez, fucking slick.
My boss tells me that God created concrete
So we can
so it
save
can
nature.
catch the oil. And if you let it fall on the ground, it just
Purifies
goes
it.
back to the dinosaurs.
Exactly. It's how more oil.
It's called
You can't
recycling.
Just take it all. You've got to give some back. Yeah, exactly. It's recycling.
Yeah, it goes
The concrete
back. It
filters
goes
out
back
all the
in.
toxins, anyways.
Yeah,
Alright. So
Concrete's the
fishing.
liver.
Yeah, I went out.
100%.
I think I was text you guys whenever that last was. I went out and it wasn't a good day for fishing, but it's the weather up here has just been really inconsistent. It's been kind of chilly out, then it's been super rainy, and the sun pops out. And I mean, we're having a springtime this year, and so I'm waiting for a good couple of clear days because the water's all just going to be chocolate milk. And I'm not going to see shit, which is fine. I can still catch fish in that, but I just, it's not. I'm still on the wagon of like I want to go fishing. I want to get out and do some fishing again. I want to kind of get amped. And then with Duck Camp's new bass hat, I was like, this is the fucking thing I need. It'll channel the fucking power into me to go catch some fucking largies. So I'm actually gonna start going. I fished there before with Austin. It's just a little north from here. It's the Carrollton Library. There's a big pond there. Actually 3 big ponds there. And I've caught fish there before, and it's, I think the convenience for me before was I had Lake Cliff Park on my way home from the apartment complex. So I would just go there frequently and fish every day after work and then go home. And we didn't have dogs. Yeah. It was easier. Now we got the house, and we got 2 dogs, and so it's like, cool, I'm going to come home. Let's walk these dogs. Let's go do some shit. And so once the weather's nice and consistent for a little while, which it should be soon. We're getting into May. I'm hoping for some warm days for a couple weeks. But on days when like the dogs go to daycare, then I'll maybe swap with Steph and drop them off so she'll pick them up and just go straight after work and go fishing. Go try to catch some fishies. But I was thought about it, like, I forget. I was looking at pictures and I used to be like, fishies. I'm watching YouTube videos now of shooting, obviously, because, it's fun and I'm interested in it. But I started watching some fishing videos the other day just because I hadn't in a while.
Yeah, of course.
It's entertaining, and I understand why a lot of these guys who have been really successful have kind of changed up their model a little bit because you got to keep it fresh, and so like some of these guys are doing like funny goofball videos or whatever, which is fine. I'm not hating on it, but watching some of their older stuff when you could kind of tell, I don't want to say that they're not impassionate about it or like they're not passionate about it anymore. It seems like it's maybe become a little more like, this is my job. I got to go out and I got to go catch some fish, as opposed to, maybe before they were just really, really passionate about fishing, and
yeah.
That's kind of something I want to make sure, not that I'm ever going to be just a super popular YouTube fisherman guy, but, I lost the passion for it, and I want
dude, you could be Flair.
I believe in
Ric
you.
Flair?
I do too.
Woo?
You could be Flair. Woo!
I'm interested too. I think it'll be really good. I bet he's got a lot of really good stories of just old wrestling days and probably the dark side of it, the drugs and the bullshit. Yeah, exactly. The pills and the drugs and all the stupid shit they were doing.
Yeah.
But side note, I want to just real quick. I want to talk to you guys about kind of what I got going on here. Okay. I'm talking about modifications to my Glock 17.
Okay.
I would do the 3.5 pound trigger, the comp, the barrel, the extended mag
Bring
release,
it full circle,
and an extended slide lever. Because I'm sitting here playing with it a little bit, and I'm realizing this little slide release on here it's usable. Obviously, I did at the least when we were shooting. Like I remember, I think we were doing gun on table, then mag, and then you commented on one. I don't know if you got it on camera, but you said like my swap over real quick was just like textbook real quick. Slide locked forward, and then I just started shooting. And I think I saw the video. I don't know, but I think that would help a little bit. But I want to do those, and then I think I did some research. Primary Arms in Houston has got a big sale going on their website right now. FYI for you two. It may not be on sale by the time this airs, but I found a 16-inch upper without BCG and charging handle. I don't need that. By Ghost Firearms, which I've done a little bit of research on those, and reviews are pretty good. And so it's $219.99. That's before tax and shipping. So about $250 for that. So I think I might see if it's a 16, yeah, which I'm fine with. I think I might try to pull 16. The trigger on that. Pun. I am talking about firearms, and I say pull trigger.
I see you there.
Nice.
It's okay, people. It's okay.
Well,
But yeah, I'm ready to do some shit. Are you still? You're doing another match with him, right? When are you doing that match with Austin? Yeah.
yeah.
No.
You talking to me? I'm not gonna do the long range.
The sniper.
The one in July. I'm not actually gonna do that. I'm gonna go hang out at that one, but I'm not gonna do that one. I don't have
It'll still be fun.
A setup yet for that. So
after TLM, you will though, right?
Well, it won't be completely set up yet until after October, because I'm gonna run that glass on my AR for the carbine match first, and then I'll switch that over to my long range, and then I'll be able to shoot some of those long range competitions. So
that'd be cool. They're going to go on your Tika eventually.
Yeah, it'll eventually land on my Tika. That I'll use that Picatinny rail that Grinch has that he's going to use for the bear hunt, and then once he's done with that on the bear hunt, he won't need it anymore, and I'll buy that from him, and then slap that on my Tika, and then hopefully have a pretty decent setup for some fun little long range stuff. As per usual, normal Stormwater Creek fashion for I think most of us is we decided to do like one thing, or like, hey, I'll put my toe in this water, and next thing we know, we're jumping both feet in.
The only thing,
deep end,
the only thing that hasn't applied to is me and Austin and Fly.
Why not, right?
Well.
Yeah, but I feel like y'all guys have both kind of held out on even like trying it, because I think Austin for sure, he's told me, he's like, I have enough stuff that I'm doing. I don't need to like end up liking this and like start pouring money into that as well.
Yeah. It do be like that.
It do be like that sometimes.
It do be like that though. Shit, man, I've got to get a fly rod picked up again soon.
Why not?
I haven't picked one up in forever.
Yeah, I got to get mine out and take it up to work and start casting. My casting's atrocious right now.
Yeah. I'm all freaking live bait. I'm just trying to... I want to catch fish, bro.
I want to catch fish.
I want to get ass. I want to cash checks, snap necks. I'm walking tall. So as for those of you listening, if you wanted to know where Jared's mind at is with fishing, the fact that he stopped a fishing story to talk about...
I don't know if you can see what I'm holding, people, but I'm holding my gun in my hand right now. I'm not holding my fishing
brain
rod or reel or anything. And then I'm wearing my duck hat. I'm not even wearing my bass hat. And you guys can't even... see behind me, I've got
my duck mind.
My tools out, and I've taken my other AR apart, and I'm trying to sell my upper, that other 10.5 upper that I have. It's fun. It's fun.
Sell it.
It's cool.
That is cool.
It's fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, exactly. I'll tell you one more joke before I depart, my friend.
Hold on.
1, 2, 3, go.
Hold on a second. I need to talk to Jordan. Okay? Jordan, how is dog training going?
I have been slacking in that category, but it's going all right. We still get out, and she's been retrieving pretty good. We need to go back to the table. I think I need to go back a few steps and focus on a couple little things. It's not a big deal. She's still kind of getting a little like mouthy. She wants to kind of parade with the bumper a little bit, but I think it's just because she's mainly excited about actually, being able to run and be off the table. So just not a big deal. Just back up a little bit and and re-hone in those skills of what I want her to do. And then hopefully by midsummer we'll go back to birds, and then we'll start working in the they use Grinch's launcher, and start going that whole chestnut. So it's been going all right, man. Like, it's, we've talked about it before. River's a good dog. She's she'll make a really good bird dog. Not like anything like robotic or the best dog ever, but for what I want, she'll make a good dog. And she's the first one I've trained myself. So there's a huge learning curve, So
Totally. Dealing
with that, and one thing I have already learned, which I think is pretty good, and I'm sure a lot of people agree with me, is the biggest thing is learning when to stop going forward and maybe slow down. If not, go back a few steps, go back to that foundation that your dog knows, and then work from there. And that once I started learning that kind of stuff, it really clicked for me, and I can tell it's clicking for her a lot better, instead of just pushing forward and then being like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this wrong? Well, it's because I jumped 4 steps in front because I wanted to start throwing birds for her. See her drag a duck back to me,
Dude, I totally get it. It's,
How's
mine's so far from that even. It's just, it's a lot of the same, dude. It's my learning curve. My biggest thing is just I'm trying to be very disciplined in working every day. And not long. And sometimes I work 4 or 5 sessions a day. Sometimes I work 2 sessions a day. Sometimes I work 1 session a day. Like today was probably end up being just 1 session. Yesterday we worked a bunch. I'm trying to start extending out the time a little bit on how much I'm working with her, because we're still we're still doing obedience. So it was kind of, I got a little frustrated with her recall, because she would do it really well for a little bit and then she just wander off. And so I had to stay patient with her. And that was just kind of frustrating a little bit, because she picked up sit and heel and, whistling with the whistle to sit. So I just drilling her. I kept her back on come another week, just to kind of keep reinforcing that. And then when I started doing this week, which is just a combination of all those, so you go back to heel work on a lead, and so I would do that and then do a little bit of heel work on lead for a second, whistle sit, and then off heel work, off lead work, and then place, and then come. And, she had a day like yesterday where I was just like, Jesus Christ, this dog is just like a fucking machine, dude. She's just like, everything I told her, asked her to do, she did fucking right away, and an animal. And so, but then 3 days ago, I was just like, I'm going to fucking punt this dog, God damn, this fucking bitch just ran down the street. And I fucking had to chase her down, and I just, she's not bolting. She's just wandering off. She's like, I'm not interested in fucking coming back with you right now, So she'll let me get to her, but it's still like, God damn it, stop, But it just also, when I got to this week in Cornerstone Gun Dog and was watching it, his fucking dog had a breakdown in the middle of the session, and I love the fact that they didn't edit it out. He was just like, my fucking dog just ran off. He just is. It's like it was like you and I recording, right? Where his dog is just, he's at a park. So he's talking about generalization. So he's been in a same location to train a lot, and then he moved to a park to kind of talk about generalizing the training. And that dog just was like, boop, and he was like, oh, hold on, and had to run off, and you could hear him like, hey, come here, because, and he comes back, he's like, this happens, and kind of explained it a little bit, and just, it was really cool to see. He's like, here's what you do when this happens. So it was kind of nice to see, it could have all been planned out, obviously, but it just didn't seem planned out at all. It seemed very much like, this is our first session, out in a new place, and she just kind of was wandering off. So the fact that it was just like, okay, cool, like this just does not have to be perfect, right? This dog does not have to be a fucking, like, I called, she came immediately, and sat in front of me and was just like, what do I do next? Like, that is like such an unrealistic expectation for me to have right now. But like, so she comes sometimes. So I'm like, good. And she wants to come, and she'll stop and smell something, and then I'll be like, hey, and she'll keep coming, so it's she's getting there. But it's, once again, for me, it's the same thing. I'm like, all I want to do is be able to launch a bumper into the fucking canal and watch her dive off the dock, go get it, come back out. And, but it's like, I'm not anywhere near that,
For sure.
I understand where you're like, you're just wanting to be so, like, I want this dog to be like fucking
done. You want it
done.
you want it to all be done, and you're having the cool stuff of showing a friend like, hey, check this out. I can throw this bumper a million yards, and my dog goes and gets it like blind, and I show hand signals, and it's the coolest thing ever. Check it out. And yeah, I mean, like, sure.
One thing I started doing is I've started bringing the gun out around her. Not shooting it, obviously, but I'm just like, just get used to this thing. And she was like, I brought a shotgun out, and she was just like, what the fuck is that thing? She's like, whoa, my God, so I'm just trying to get her accustomed to seeing it. She doesn't like thunder, which I'm just kind of like, please, God, don't let this dog be super gun shy. So next weekend, I'm taking her to the ranch. Yeah.
You can work around all that stuff, especially if she's a little bit shy. I mean, like, River, last time when the thunderstorms came through, like, River got like weird. Like, she wasn't scared of it. She just was like, I don't like that. But I shoot guns right next to her, and she's like, starts looking around for birds. And she hates River hates fireworks. I've talked to plenty of people that have hunting dogs, and they're like, you shoot a shotgun near the dog, and it's like, where's the bird? Like, it gets all excited and stuff like that. But in the same breath, they're like, yeah, but like during the 4th of July, a firework goes off, and that dog runs and hides underneath the toilet in the bathroom in the shop, like just wedges itself between the wall and the toilet and stays there, because it's scared of, dogs are all different. Dogs are all weird. There's always some little, weird thing that's what makes training so hard. Most dogs, let's say, I don't even know what the percentage would be like, but most dogs are going to kind of, you stick to one style, and it's going to probably work for most dogs, not all of them, of course, and not a lot of them, but most dogs. And that's the part of training that's hard, is to realize, like, all right, well, this dog isn't responding to X. What do I do to get it to where I want it? Because this way is not working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and from everything I read, like old school dog training, it was basically like you just force the dog to do what you want, and just that's the way it is, and they do it. And the new school, there's several, some people say, like, the all positive is like a little bit too much positive. I'm kind of in the middle. I like, I like positive with a little bit of reinforcement of what's going on. But
I've been using the shock collar a little bit on her when I'm training her. Not shocking her, but I'll like vibrate her or beep her. And when she starts to wander off and loses that attention.
So for your recall, you're using like the Page, the vibrate for recall.
If like I'm not using that as the signal to come back, I'm using a whistle, so 3 quick whistles to come back. But if she like wanders, if she's like, I tell her to kind of go play, and she kind of, if I just, the problem is that she sits right next to me because she's like, this motherfucker's got treats. So I finally, a lot of times those sessions, I had to slow myself down because I was trying to do it in like 5 minutes, or 4 minutes, keep the session short. I had to expand those out just because I would be like, she just sit there next to me and be like, come on, what do you want me to do? I'm sitting. Should I stand over here and heel? What do you want me to do? I'm doing stuff. And finally just kind of walk around, and she get bored and wander off, and so then I would recall her. And so sometimes she'd come back really good, but like other times she would be just like head down in the grass smelling something. And so I would just like beep the collar and she would be like, I'd get her attention and then I'd whistle and she'd come back, so.
Yeah. Yeah. River's on a vibrate recall. Like,
yeah.
And, cause I mean,
Probably a good
I
idea.
don't always have a whistle with me or sometimes, and saying the same thing. Sometimes she'll be really far away and you can tell the difference when she knows, like, she's like, I'm pretty far away and I can kind of hear him, but like, I'm going to pretend that I didn't. And,
She gets that husband hearing.
Yeah, for sure. And, but her recall is strong, man.
Yeah.
And that's kind of one of the things, on her, that was really important, is that recall. And I just did it with that check cord.
Yeah,
I just check corded her ass.
Yeah, mine's going on the check cord because she's going to the ranch with me now that she's fully shot it. We're fully vaccinated and everything's good to go. We've got her. She's gonna go. This is like her first big trip. She's going with me next weekend. She's going to the ranch, so we're gonna see. I'm spending the night Friday and Saturday, so it'll be 2 nights away from home, and we'll see. And we'll see how that goes, But I'm taking that big check cord you got me, and I'm going to put her on that and just kind of like, that way I can just like step on it if she's like out of here, So when we're running around doing stuff, she can, run around and do stuff, but also be like, hey, you got to stay close here.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I freaking love that little bitch.
Dude, having a hunting dog, I don't care. Like you get all those people that are like, "Oh, this is the best hunting dog." You know what the best hunting dog is? A fucking hunting dog.
Your friend, yeah.
Like having a dog with you in the outdoors is just plain freaking cool. And
it's cool.
River's been mad at me. She's been staying home more.
I'm not gonna. I mean, I just know that this year is just going to be a learning year for us. And, I think if I can get one retrieve out of her this year, I would be like beyond ecstatic. But just every freaking trip, she's going to come with me, and because we've got the canoes now, we've got everything. So we don't, there's not any place that she can't go once we're out of teal season, just because I don't want to have to deal with alligators.
Right, for sure.
So, I think that's going to be kind of cool too.
And that's kind of the trick. It's kind of like we've always talked about with almost everything. Like you're not going to shoot a deer with your bow if you don't take your bow. You're not going to catch a fish with your fly rod if you don't take your fly rod. And you're not going to have a train. I mean, most and it's just like your guns, right? Like don't spend money on fancy parts with your gun. Just buy ammo and go shoot your gun. That's what's going to make you better. And it's the same thing with your dog. Like every time, like you hear all these guys talking about training your dog and stuff like that, and they're like, just take your dog hunting. Just take it hunting and let it get used to that. Let it be out there. Let it have fun. And that's that's some of the biggest leaps and bounds you can do. Like not taking your dog hunting. All the training you do, like, I mean, they're going to learn the motions, but they're not going to understand. I mean, Max was the same way. He went to, all the training and stuff like that he went to. He was badass. He'd do all the stuff. He was great. But you get out in like an actual hunting situation, he's kind of like, so what are you doing here? Like, what's this? And then after he figured out what you were doing, like, oh, that training is for
this is what that was.
And that's what that is. And all of a sudden he's like, I mean, you get the guns out. I mean, you see Max. Max normally is lounge around the house, just being Max and chill and stuff. But once the waders and the shotgun comes out, he starts getting all like birdie and like, oh man, is this going down? Like, I'm ready for this shit.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited, man, about it this year. I think it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun to go down that journey. So I'm excited to talk to Ron Bain. We're going to have him on in a couple weeks again. So.
Yeah.
So having him on to talk through it's going to be cool. I'm kind of excited about this podcast we're going to do next week. So we're going to be talking to these guys that I kind of found on Instagram by accident because they had a kind of a funny reel that was they're called oh my god, where did it go? Oh, Bass and Brews podcast. They're in New Jersey and North Carolina.
How'd you forget that one?
I'm an idiot. It's been a long day, and
okay.
And so they just had this funny kind of reel about like, if you're not going to catch fish and you still want to get views, like hook yourself, hook your friend, or shit your pants. And I was like, okay, wait a second, these guys are cool. And so I started watching more of their stuff, and they're just ridiculous, just like us. And I remixed their reel and just kind of like, just kind of was like, oh, this is the Stormwater Creekway right here. And they immediately liked it, immediately followed us, and commented. And I just went back. I was like, hey, this is cool, man. You guys seem neat. We should do a podcast together. And they were like, let's go, dude. Let's do this thing. So we're going to be talking to those guys next week, which I think will be pretty cool. Well, I mean, next week, I guess as this podcast comes out, that podcast will be coming out the next week. So last week we had Nate Wilson on, so that was a cool podcast. So that's pretty cool. We've got some pretty awesome guests coming up. Gain Young is a big writer, outdoor writer, pretty solid dude. He's going to be on. Who else do we have on coming up? We've got Ron Bain, Gain Young. Probably going to have the fucking Ginger from fucking Idaho on to talk pre-bear hunt before Austin, and I come back from, if Austin even comes back from death, we'll see if he can pull a Jesus out. But either which way.
But loose.
Yeah. So Jared,
thank you for tuning in to
cue the
Stormwater
credits.
Creek Podcast, starring Abe Bullman, Jordan Grimes, and Jared Ahmed.
What?
No idea where Austin Brown is. Please, if you've seen him, tell him to call us. We're worried about him. I have no idea where he is. The last time I saw him, he had the craziest look in his eye. He missed his curfew last night.
He missed his curfew last night.
He had the craziest look in his eye.
Q Braley.
This fucking guy. I heard he was racing cars on fucking Townies Boulevard.
Like
He was drag racing. I know. Guy's gone off the deep end.
Okay,
dude.
bye.
This guy's deal.
Okay, bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Stormwater Creek is the best. Grinch, the captain. Abe, the helper. Jordan, the problem solver. I hope you like Stormwater Creek. Stormwater Creek.